Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Tank be chopping, and we back with another haircut tutorial. Alright guys, what we're gonna be doing on this cut is we actually gonna be doing a drop fade, you know what I'm saying, like a mid drop fade, line up the beard, adding some enhancements. We're gonna be doing a little bit of texture on top. So jumping straight into this haircut, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm saturating the top of my client's head. I'm just putting some water in it, that way I can actually add this texture that my client is looking for. So as you can see, I am taking my I was gonna say my blending shears, but these are my texturizing shears. A little different than blending shears. You can use them as blending shears also, but these help give more texture. It's basically like point cutting, but doing it all at once. So you know, when you go in and when you point cut, you gotta go in one snip at a time. And the good thing with these texturizing shears is you just, as you can see, I was showing you all the shear, one snip cuts that whole section that I'm cutting. You know what I'm saying? It texturizes that whole section that I'm cutting, opposed to doing it one at a time, as y'all saw me just give y'all a fake little mock texturizing, whatever you want to call it. But as y'all can see, man, I'm just doing that to the top of my client's head just to give him that texture that he's looking for. He did say he wanted texture, so we got to make sure and do that. And we are going to add some styling powder towards the end of this haircut. But now that that is done, jumping into the actual fade work, what I'm going to do here is I start off my client, well, not start off, but I start off the sides of my client by debulking. This is my number 4 guard, and what I'm doing is I'm going all the way around my client's head, basically trying to blend into that length on top. And the reason why I like to do this, guys, I say this in all my videos, but I like to debulk with my number 4 guard, and then I also come right below that with my number 3 guard. I like to do that because it makes it easier for me. I don't got to think about blending into the length on top. I really just got to think about blending into my number 3 and my number 4 guard, which is a lot easier than thinking, oh man, I got to blend into all this shear work. So I just take my 4 guard and blend that into my shear work, and if it leaves too blunt of a line, if it's not blended in the way I like, then I can always come back in later and do some clipper over comb, shear over comb, blending shear over comb, whatever, to get that top line nice and blended in. But now that I did that with my 4 guard, I'm actually going in with my number 3 guard right under my number 4 guard, basically just blending into that number 4. And I do want to say that on this video, I did do a live voiceover, but I messed up. I plugged the mic into the wrong input, so the audio was horrible. So I'm going back in and I'm doing my voiceover like I used to do it. But nonetheless, man, jumping back into this cut, I'm taking my cyborg clippers from Gamma, setting in my initial bald guideline, going all the way around my client's head. Remember, we are doing a drop fade, so we want to drop it below the occipital bone in the back and then bring it back up on the side and just, you know, connect these lines. That way it's nice and uniform all the way around my client's head. Alright, so now that that is done, I am taking my Stylecraft Flex and I'm balding out the bottom of my client's head. So everything under that line, I'm making sure I get this down to this trimmer length. That way when I go over this with the shaver, it makes it a lot easier and it blends into my bald line a little quicker and easier. So you can try this, guys. If you have an issue with taking out that bottom line, try setting in your bald guideline with your clipper first, coming under that with your trimmer, and then under that with the shaver. So that's basically what I'm doing here. As y'all can see, I am taking the new FX1 from Babyliss. I'm not sure if they got these on their website yet, but if they do, y'all can go check it out, man. BabylissPro.com. Using my discount code TANK10, save yourself some money, you know what I'm saying? But we're just getting all the sides down to razor, you know what I'm saying? My client wants it razor, that way it can last my client a little longer. And in my opinion, I think it looks better when you razor the sides. So now we're going back into this haircut. I'm going in with my clipper lever open, and I'm gonna set in another section, and we're gonna be coming up about ½ an inch or so using a slight flick out motion, following the same shape that we created earlier on in this haircut. And we're gonna do this all the way around my client's head. And just for reference, as y'all can see, I am using the Gamma Cyborg. If you do want to purchase this, they do have them on pre-order on the website. You can go to GammaPlusNA.com and use my discount code TANK there also, and you can save yourself a little bit of money, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, I really like this clipper. The motor is different. It's a brushless motor, so it's quiet. It leaves a nice smooth blend, but that's just my opinion. But nonetheless, man, now what I'm doing here is I got my number 1 guard on my clipper lever all the way open, setting in another section. following that same shape. We want to make sure we follow this shape throughout the haircut. That way we give that nice drop effect that my client is looking for. And we're just going to do this all the way around my client's head. And I am using the tight guards that came with the Cyborg. So, you know, you get the Cyborg, you get these new tight guards, which are more of the wall style guards than the Andes style guards, in my opinion. But once again, one guard lever open, creating a new section, but following that same shape. Now that is done, I'm taking my number 2 guard lever open. And basically, I'm gonna really start trying to blend into my number 3 guard. I don't want to create any more lines, but if it does, it's all good. We'll come back and clean that up. But I'm just taking my 2 guard open, blending into that number 3 guard, basically creating another section also without actually trying to create another section. You know what I'm saying? So we want this to blend into that number 3 guard, but we have to take a mental note of where we're actually doing this. That way we don't go too high when we go in with our clipper closed with that 2 guard on there. And once again, guys, I'm going all the way around the head. And I figure when you set in your sections going all the way around the head, it actually makes the haircut a little quicker. Now I'm going in with my clipper lever closed, still with that 2 guard, basically trying to blend down that bottom line in this section. It's not going to get that line out completely, though. I am going to have to come in with my 1.5 guard, but we want to soften that line up, make it a little easier for me to blend down. All right, so now that is done, I actually believe that I moved on to my 3 guard lever open because there were some discrepancies in this cut or in the top part of the blend. So I wanted to blend that in a little better. So I'm going in with my 3 guard just to clean that section up a little more. I'm sorry, that was my 2 guard open once again, my bad, I'm sorry. But anyway, that was my 2 open and then closed. But here is my 1.5 guard lever closed, trying to clean up this section, as y'all can see. And then as y'all can see right there, he's got like a little dark area that we have to really be careful right there. So his head dips in a little bit right there. He's got a bone right there, so we want to make sure that we clean that up, but we don't want to take this part of the blend too high. So that's why you see me adjusting my lever a little more now, just because I want to give that nice transition and give that nice fade effect. But at the same time, I don't want to bring this blend any higher. I just want to keep it where it's at, but I have to be really precise and take my time and be careful what I'm doing here. But I'm making sure that I'm trying to blend this out at the same time also. All right, now that is done, here is my 1 guard lever open. Once again, attacking this dark area that I told y'all about earlier. That part probably gave me the most difficulty in this haircut. You know, that was the most difficult part of this haircut, was that little dark area. But now I'm going in with my clipper lever closed, attacking this bottom line, as y'all can see. And it's probably not going to get it out completely, but it's going to soften it a lot and make it a lot easier to come back in with our half guard to take that line out. But before we do that, we're making sure that we dot all our I's and cross all our T's. So I'm really taking my time, really trying to be consistent with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give my man a nice haircut, a nice blurry blend. So you got to be consistent. You got to take your time. You got to be aware of what's going on. Now I'm going in with my half guard. My lever is, I believe, 3 notches open, not all the way open, 3 notches open, maybe 4 notches, but not all the way open. And I'm going in and I'm attacking this part of the blend still. And I'm just gonna start to adjust my lever closed as needed. So I may not close it all the way, or I may, depending on how this part of the blend comes together. If it comes together with my clipper halfway closed, then there's no need for me to close it all the way. Now, if it doesn't come together with my clipper halfway closed, then I will need to close it all the way. So that's something you really wanna pay attention to and look at when you're blending. You don't have to use your clipper closed on every part of the haircut. You may, but you don't have to. And so that's basically what I'm doing here, guys. Just using some lever play, some corner blending, trying to get out all these discrepancies, make sure that this part of the blend comes together nicely. All right, so now that is done, I'm moving on to this bottom line, and I'm going in with my clipper halfway open, working my way halfway up into this section. So I'm not coming all the way up to what I previously did. I'm just working my way halfway into what I did at the beginning of this haircut, just to try to soften this line. And then you will see me close my lever notch by notch to try to get that bottom line out. And that's basically what you got to do in this area, is take your time, use a lot of corner blending. On this particular client, I had to do my sections a little shorter, because of the way he wanted to keep his hair on top. So the sections are smaller, so you have to make sure that when you're closing your lever and working your way down, you're really not pushing that line up. Sometimes when you have more area to work with, you can bring that line up a little bit and it won't make that much of a difference. But in this case, since he didn't have a lot of room to work with, we want to make sure that we're keeping that blend nice and low. So now I'm going back in doing some detail work. This is my 1.5 guard. And the reason why I choose the 1.5 guard is this part. This 1.5 guard was the area that I felt that had the most discrepancies and the most dark areas in the blend. So I'm going in with that guard, adjusting my lever and using corner blending just to make sure that I get that part nice and consistent. And then here is my 1 guard lever open, but as y'all can see, I'm using more of the corner of my clipper. And once again, guys, the reason for that is it just helps me be a little more precise with what part of the blend that I'm trying to attack. And I don't know if y'all know this, but when you use the corner of your clipper, it's actually a little longer than what it would be if you laid the clipper flat. So now we're going on to this blending in the beard. I'm going in with my clipper open, adjusting it closed little by little, working my way up. And then my 1 guard open, adjusting it closed as I work my way up. And then we are gonna leave my man with a vertical bar. He doesn't get an edge up in front, but we are doing a vertical bar. As you can see, I am taking my Stylecraft instincts, putting in that vertical bar in there, and then we're gonna hit that C cup. And when you're doing lineups, bro, or I don't know why I said bro, but when you're doing lineups, make sure y'all take y'all time. You know, a lot of times people think you need to rush any part of the haircut, and you don't. I think the lineup is one of the most important parts. So I like to take my time to create that nice curve that we're trying to create in the C cup. Put that nice curve in there, go over it a good amount of times, making sure I'm taking my time and making sure that we have a nice sharp curve. And basically all I'm doing is I'm going in little by little and just knocking off a little bit of hair at a time and looking at it and seeing how it looks. But as y'all can see, man, that C cup looks on point. We're lining up the mustache a little bit. We're gonna line them up above the lip, then the top of the mustache area. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit this line up on the cheek area. And he wants to keep his beard full. We're not trying to take off too much hair. We're just trying to leave a nice line. So I started off towards the lip area, and then I went up towards the C cup area, and I just connected those 2 areas. Now I'm doing underneath the neck. And the thing about the cheek area, guys, he's really light, so I'm gonna add enhancements, and I'm gonna use my razor to really make that line pop a little more. As y'all can see, we do have a nice line there, but it's just not super sharp. And I feel that, you know, once we add them enhancements and hit them with the razor, it's gonna look a lot better. But now we're lining up the back of the beard. You know what I'm saying? You wanna make sure that you comb that, brush that down and to the back. That way you can actually see any of those hairs going over that line. But we're just gonna leave him with a nice beard lined up, you know what I'm saying? As y'all can see, beard looking on point, haircut looking on point. We are gonna go back in and detail it some more. So that's basically what I'm doing here, is taking my number 4 guard once again, just cleaning up the top of this blend, just because I felt that it needed to be blended into the top a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Not that it was bad, but it just wasn't the best. So I'm going back in with my 4 guard, basically blending into that. Then my 3 guard. Then here's my 2 guard open. I'm basically gonna do some down fading to do my detail work. So that was my 2 open and close. Here's my half guard open, and then I'm gonna close it. And then I'm gonna revert down to my 1 guard and do the same thing. And I know some people may say that this is too much, this is overkill, you don't need to do that. But I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm just dotting all my I's and crossing all my T's just to make sure that this blend looks right. You don't gotta do this, but I like to do it in certain haircuts, especially haircuts that are a little harder for me or take me a little longer, or that just have some more discrepancies in. I like to go back in and go through all my steps again, going backwards. That way, you know what I'm saying, it just leaves a nice blend. But now we're gonna be moving on to the opposite side, doing the same exact thing. That was the 2 guard y'all just saw. This is my 1.5 guard. And we're just gonna do the same thing. Go down to the 1 guard, blend that in, then the half guard. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all saw me do it on the opposite side. But like I said, man, this clipper right here, man, this new Gamma Cyborg, it's a pretty dope clipper. A lot of people they don't like the shape of it, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the shape either, but it cuts really good. It cuts smooth. That motor in it is a super nice motor, so I'm really enjoying using this clipper, guys. So if you are interested in this clipper, once again, guys, you can go to GammaPlusNA.com. Use my discount code TANK10 if you want to purchase this. I know they're on pre-orders. I think pre-orders just started shipping, but if you haven't pre-ordered pre-ordered it, go ahead and pre-order it, guys. Super dope clipper in my opinion. But nonetheless, man, moving back into this haircut, as you can see, this is my one guard now. Most of this blend is already there. I did the same steps on the opposite side. Now what I'm doing is just some more detail work, some cleanup work, getting rid of all these discrepancies in the blend. Add a little bit of enhancements on the beard, just a little bit, make a beard look a little sharper. Now, as you can see, we already got a dark line there, but I am gonna add just a little bit just to make it pop a little more. That's it, right there. Now we're gonna do the same thing to the opposite side. Just whoop your ass. All right, so now we're gonna go over the lineup with the razor.
Monday Night Raw, live in prime time, with Raw as the back.
All right, so we are gonna add some product. This is the, I forgot what this is called, but it's basically the styling powder from Tomb 45. Y'all make sure to check that out. If you wanna purchase anything off of Tomb 45, you can go to tomb45.com using my discount code TANK. But check it out, man. This is how my man came into the shop looking. This is the before look. As you can see, he had a lot of hair, man. It had been a good minute. And this is the final product. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if new to my channel, make sure and subscribe one time for your boy. Remember, guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and want a haircut from your boy, you can go to my website, tankbchopping.com. You can book there. Also, I do have my discount codes down in the description. But if you want to purchase this Gamma Tools, GammaPlusNA.com, discount code TANK10, Tomb45 discount code, Tomb45.com, discount code TANK. Y'all know what it is, man. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, let's go.